Hey everyone, Real Comic Stacks, and we are neck deep into the Vampire Civil War, and this thing has been awesome. Love Blade in the Avengers so far. It's been a good addition. So let's see where this goes. Well, I'll tell you where it starts, and it starts with Robby Reyes, and he is basically he's basically lost control of the Ghost Rider, and he explains that, hey, at first, when I first started turning into the Ghost Rider, I couldn't control it. I couldn't even speak words from his mouth, but slowly I got control of it and was able to control the spirit. Well, it ain't like that anymore. He has fully lost control of it now from whatever this vampire Colonel Darkness, whatever it is. I see. I'm back to forgetting his name already. What is it? Shadow Colonel. That's it. I'm sorry. So the Shadow Colonel has casted some kind of spell that's making him lose control of the spirit of vengeance. And so from here, he's sitting there, he's talking, and basically he's saying, "Look, get me out of here." Whatever, he's praying to God, and then he says the devil, and then as soon as he says that, a voice pops over his shoulder saying, "Hey, better be careful what you're saying down here, boy." From there, we go to where the Ghost Rider is fighting Thor and Captain Marvel. And they're trying. Thor is like, "Look, I'm all out. I'm knocking this guy out. That's the course of action I'm taking here." And Captain Marvel is warning him, "Hey, look, Robbie's in there. Don't hurt him." And Thor's like, "Look, we're past that." And Thor's putting it on him. But the spirit is still just popping back up and just tearing into him. Then you have Blade, who is just laying down some vampires. He's going after the Colonel, the Shadow Colonel, and that darn dog Sergeant comes at him again and again and again. Every time he thinks he has him down, that dog comes back at him. And this fight is awesome. You got She-Hulk throwing down against whatever the Grey Gargoyle dude was that isn't Grey Gargoyle. They're just, it is Black Panther's in there against the one with the swords, and I don't know who they are. But, it's good. And then Ghost Rider hits Captain Marvel with a Penance Stare, and you are like, dang! We break from there over to Dracula, who is finally meeting the Red Widow, and apparently Dracula is once again using mind control on a bunch of the prisoners and sending them at the Red Widow and the Northern Guard. And she threatens Dracula, but he pretty much says, "Look, the things I know are way too valuable for you just to kill me." To make a long, troubling story short here, basically Red Widow finds a pressure point on Dracula that does bring him to tears and breaks him. Basically the suffering of some people that he does find dear to him. And everything's fine in this story up till now. Blade is fighting this devil dog with some silver nunchucks, and it's really, really cool up till this point. Alright, and this is the scene. So brace yourself for Real Comic Stacks dramatization of this. After this sinner's face turns to fire, all of you will join her in penance. I'm gonna take a hard pass on all that. Impossible. No mortal can withstand the Penance Stare. Whoever said I was mortal, and believe me, I've done penance my whole life, and I'm sick and tired of being punished for existing. Ugh! Marvel, you missed another opportunity to actually show Carol Danvers as a vulnerable human being. Something like she actually regrets. Something she actually feels bad about. Something somewhere where she's hurt somebody. I don't know, maybe the time she put Tony Stark into a coma and she pursued this whole Civil War II fiasco that was a complete joke, completely driven by her and her fault. And yet, here we are, once again, just crowning Captain Marvel as the greatest hero in the history of heroes, and who has never done anything wrong, and it's getting tiresome. It's Stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to go on a full-blown rant about this and what is wrong with it. But let me get back to the actual Avengers 16 storyline. So Carol Danvers has no sin, therefore she blows Ghost Rider away, and immediately he is finally starting to fight his way back out of it, and Captain America shows up. They withstand. They hold him, and then Blade basically comes in and bites him. That's what he does. So don't get it. He sucked the sickness out of his veins, whatever it was that was induced, and that's it. So Bobby's back. The Shadow Colonel and his team, they've escaped, and the Avengers are basically regrouping. And Robby's he's scared. He's a teenager, and Cap's there for him, grabs him up and says, "Hey man, we've all been there." Well, they turn and they're going to send him home, and Blade's sitting there talking to him. And Blade ain't playing with him. Blade's treating him like an adult. And he says, "Look, you got anybody you care about, then you need to get out, and you need to get out now if you want them to stay that way. Because if you don't, they're going to end up getting hurt." From there, we're back into Russia, where the Shadow Colonel has gone and is about to launch an attack on the prison where Dracula is being held. And he's actually converting all the prisoners into vampires. And instead of he killed out the old, and now he's bringing new brothers and sisters, as he says. And after that, we go back to Robby, who is back in his mind, and we find out who he was talking to, who that was who told him to watch who he was praying to. And it is Johnny Blaze, Ghost Rider, the real spirit of vengeance. And man, I don't know where the storyline's going with him from there, but I can't wait to get there. So, guys, I was really into Avengers. I was having so much fun with this book. Nobody was overpowered. Nobody was so OP that you couldn't touch them. And then suddenly you have a moment of Captain Marvel versus the Ghost Rider, the Penance Stare, and she is without sin. She has never hurt. That is her problem, is that she, in her mind, is so self-righteous that she's never done anything wrong. Even when she knocked out Tony Stark and basically took him out of the whole fight for Secret Empire, because she had to go knocking him into a concussion or into a coma during Civil War II. I mean, Tony Stark might have been kind of useful during that. Just saying. I can't believe that they would do this. Why could they not just have her be... they don't have a problem in breaking down Tony Stark. They don't have a problem in breaking down Captain America. Thor is unworthy now. Heaven forbid we do anything to Captain Marvel. Heaven forbid. We show her as a flawed character who has problems. And Marvel doesn't get that. This complete flawless character that they continue to peddle it doesn't work. It doesn't work. They just had in her the book that released alongside the movie, if you could go back and tell your younger self anything, what would you be? It'd be, "You're right, girl. You were right. You're gonna do it the whole you do your thing. You were right." What? If I could go back and tell myself some things, I did a whole lot of stuff wrong because I'm a flawed, sinful human being. I've messed up things in my life huge, and I've hurt my loved ones. Why is that so hard for the writers at Marvel to understand? Why is that so hard for Captain Marvel? I almost called her Brie Larson. Why is it so hard for that character to be developed in a way that she actually cares about some of the mistakes she's made? Is that because she would have to be a flawed human being, and as a flawed character, somebody wouldn't love her? I don't get it. I don't understand it, and it ticks me off that they would do that with the Penance Stare. The only other ones I know of that took the Penance Stare and were good with it was Thanos, who, because he's crazy, he used it as a form of entertainment for himself. I think Deadpool took the Penance Stare one time, and basically it just showed that the only person that was really affected by Deadpool was Deadpool, and he essentially was his greatest victim. I don't know, guys. What do you think? I'm just kind of tired of it. Tell me what you think. War of the Realms is right around the corner, so get ready to, flop down all your lawn mowing money or whatever to try to keep up. That Squirrel Girl tie-in is going to be great. Guys, let me know what you think down in the comments. As always, I appreciate you, and I thank you for listening to the video. And should be a couple more up here in the next couple days. I've fallen behind, but I really want to get caught up on some, including Old Man Quill. I have number 2 and number 3 I want to get done, but so look out for that. And guys, hey, I appreciate you watching. Real Comic Stacks out.